The latest World Inequality Report highlighted the brutal level of wealth inequality between the richest and the rest, with the current global inequality trends matching that of the Western imperial era. Today, the poorest 50% of the global population owns barely 2% of the total wealth, whereas the richest 10% own 76% of the wealth. The report also listed India as a poor and very unequal country, with the top 1% of its affluent elite holding 33% of total wealth, while the bottom 50% population share only 10% of the total wealth. Furthermore, from 1980 to 2020, the accumulation of private wealth also saw a remarkable increase to 560%, indicating the extreme concentration of wealth in the hands of a tiny super-rich minority. It is clear we live in a world of inequality, which is created, perpetuated, and propped up by the system of capitalism. The blame for wealth inequality lies at its door, as it allows the wealth to flow from masses to the super-rich. This allows the elite to use their vast wealth to exert undue influence over political institutions, policy making, and judiciary, thus depriving both the state and the masses of the resources. The report additionally proposed that levying a modest progressive wealth tax on the millionaires will address the inequality problem. Unfortunately, this remedy ignores the fundamental problem with capitalism, which is not the absence of wealth-based taxation, rather the principle of freedom of ownership, which allows the capitalist to accumulate limitless wealth and own abundant public resources through privatization. Capitalism as an economic system has no specific position on wealth distribution. It rather leaves the distribution to its failed trickle-down theory and fictitious invisible hand. Global inequality is not an accident, rather an inherent feature of capitalism. This issue cannot be fixed with reforms, economic growth, and changing tax regimes, as its very basis is prone to create inequality and aim to serve the top 1%. In contrast, Islam follows a philosophy that is very different to capitalism. The economic aim of the Sharia is to secure the basic needs of all its citizens and not merely increasing the GDP. Hence, all of its policies and rules are geared towards fair distribution of wealth, ensuring that the fruit of economic development is enjoyed by the society as a whole. Also, unlike capitalism, the Islamic economic system is not built on freedom of ownership. The Islamic society does not permit the rich to own public properties or set up offshore companies for tax evasion, and neither will it allow any undue influence on the executive or judicial bodies. This way, Islam ensures that the political and economic inequality are deliberately kept to a minimum. History bears witness that it was the Deen of Islam that liberated Africa from poverty and mass inequality. It liberated people from the never-ending misery of man-made economy and led them to a life of honor, prosperity, and affluence.